Okay, what's up YouTube? My name is Galen and this is Galen's Gadgets. I want to thank you so much for joining my channel today. And if you have not already, please do not forget to like and subscribe. It will definitely mean a lot to me and my channel. So today I will actually be going over my full review of a phone that I've been daily driving for around 6 months now. I've never really did a full review on it. You guys saw me unbox it. You guys saw what cases I decided to pick up for it. So I finally decided to do my full review because this is definitely one of the most reliable phones that I've personally ever had, and I want to share my experience with it. So I'm not going to hold you any longer. Let's hop into this video.
I'm about to be on. Been on this mission since I first left home. Packed up my bags like I'm grown. Told myself to show myself to do no wrongs. Like I'm about to be on. Been on this mission since I first left home. Packed up my bags like I'm grown.
Okay, so the first thing that I'm going to talk about on this device is the price. So this phone could be found for around $500. Usually on sale it's around $450, but when you buy it used you can get it for around $300 to $400, which is what I did, and it was an absolute steal in my opinion. So this phone is actually the middle brother of the last series of Pixel devices. There is the Pixel 4a, the Pixel 5, and then the Pixel 4a 5G, which is what I decided to go with. The main reason I decided to go with this one is because it's a lot bigger than the 4A, which was way too small for me. I actually had that for a little bit, but it was just way too small. And then this has the exact same basically specs and camera as the Pixel 5. The main difference between this and the Pixel 5 is just the more premium materials in the Pixel 5, such as like a better screen, and then the back feels a lot better because it's made of an almost like carbon type material. So yeah, that's why I decided to pick up the 4A 5G. Okay, so next I'm going to talk about the build quality of this phone. So this phone is completely made of plastic. There's no getting around that at all. It does not feel like very premium to hold. They tried to go with like a matte type feel, but it just does not feel the best, and honestly it does not look the best either because it's a huge fingerprint magnet and it gets grease stains on it very easily. I highly suggest getting a case for this phone. That's definitely one of the first accessories you'll have to pick up for this because it just does not look really good unless you always have a microfiber cleaning cloth on you. That's just my suggestion on this phone. So in terms of the display, I really like the display on here. It's a crisp OLED screen, 1080p, a 60 hertz refresh rate, but I will talk about later on how the software makes the refresh rate feel like a lot faster than 60 hertz. Like it definitely feels like it's closer to 80 or 90 hertz, but I'll talk about that later. But in terms of the display, I really feel like this phone is the perfect size. A 6.2 inch screen is just the perfect size for me anyway. It's the perfect size to enjoy content. It's not too small to enjoy content on. That was my major gripe with the Pixel 4a. I just didn't feel like I was enjoying watching content on that 5.8 inch screen, but 6.2 is definitely the perfect size for me in terms of watching content. And then it's a really good size to actually use your device with one hand. So I really like how manageable this device is with the 6.2 inch screen, and just the overall size and weight distribution is really good on this device. Okay, so now I'm going to talk about the software on this Pixel 4a 5G. So of course, this is running the Pixel launcher, which is very close to stock Android, which is what Google really wants Android to look like. So I just really like the fluidity of it. As I said earlier, this is only a 60 hertz refresh rate screen, but just the animations and the overall smoothness of the UI just makes it feel like a lot smoother than 60 hertz. They did a really good job in the aesthetic and the animations in Android 11. I'm currently actually running the Android 12 beta. I'm on the 3rd level of the beta, and it's really good. Still super stable. It definitely got better, like with each jump there were like a few minor hiccups in beta 1, but on beta 3 I'm barely experiencing any hiccups at all. Just the software on this device is super solid. Okay, so now I'm going to talk about some of my favorite Google Pixel features. First off, just the overall voice dictation and Google Assistant paired with it is actually really good. I really like how accurate the voice dictation actually is, and pairing that with Google Assistant is just a game changer to me. Google Assistant can pair with just so many apps like your default music player, and then all of the Google suite of apps such as like Google Maps, Google Keep to keep your notes, Google Calendar to schedule events, events. You could do all of that without even going into the app, just by using your voice, just telling Google, okay Google, or just swiping up from the bottom of your screen to activate the assistant. I think that's an absolute game changer, and that's something I use every single day. So another really cool feature that I think is just super clutch, something I use almost every day because I get a lot of spam calls, is the call screening. So what this does, it basically has a conversation. It's like an automated voice that has a conversation with whoever is calling in from an unknown number or a likely spam number before you like pick up the phone, just so you can see like who's calling, what is this number coming from. So yeah, I think that's super useful. It saves a lot of time for me, and that's just something I hope to see implemented in every phone eventually natively. Okay, so now I'm going to talk about the performance of this device. So the performance on this device is actually really solid. It's powered by a 765G chipset. This is a chip made by Snapdragon, and honestly is like slightly above average in my opinion. It's not as fast and as powerful and as efficient as your 800 series processors, but it's still really good. The only slowdown that I noticed was like when doing heavy tasks such as processing 4K videos. I do a lot of video editing on my mobile devices. That's the major slowdown that I noticed specifically. In terms of like opening apps, scrolling through social media, that's going to be pretty much the exact same as like your flagship phones, such as your Samsung S21s or your Note 20s or phones like that. In terms of like just basically just scrolling, it's pretty much the same. You won't notice a slowdown at all in that regard. This phone does have 128 gigs of storage as well. This does not have any micro SD card support, so just be careful in going over that storage amount. It also does have 6 gigs of RAM, so you can definitely do some multitasking with this phone. Okay, so one thing that I did notice about this phone is that the thermals are just not that good. So it's definitely below average in my opinion. Just going outside, I haven't had a phone like get this hot just from being in the sun for like a few minutes. I don't know what that issue is. I also did notice it like shooting 4K videos from this phone. The limit is like 10 minutes, which is like really low for me. I haven't had like a phone go out that quickly before. So yeah, I really feel like the thermals are a weak spot in my device anyway. I don't know if that's a universal issue, but in my device the thermals are just not that good. So the battery life on this phone, I'd say, is the definition of average. I get around like a 4.5 hours to 6.5 hours screen on time a day, which may last me the full day, or it may last me till like around 6 o'clock. There's usually like not much of an in between in regards to that. So yeah, the battery life is definitely average in my opinion. In terms of my usage, I work a desk job, so I like check social media like a few times a day. Not really on my phone all day because I do work. So yeah, that's just my experience with the battery life. So now to my favorite part about this phone, and that is the cameras. This is also probably going to be my favorite part of the review because I get to share some of the amazing shots that I've taken on this phone. In terms of just like point and shoot photos, this is absolutely like almost unbeatable. Like I really love the photo science that Google implemented in these cameras. So on paper, these camera sensors do not look special at all. There are only 12 megapixel cameras. Most other phones nowadays are like up to like 108 megapixels or 64 or 48. Google has been using the same 12 megapixel camera for years, and they've just been tweaking their software with every upgrade, and they've just been doing a great job with it. I can't imagine when they actually use like rumored 50 megapixel cameras later on, because those shots will be like ridiculous if they're doing this well with 12 megapixel cameras. In terms of video capability, I really didn't like notice anything special except for the stabilization. The stabilization on this is actually really good. I really like the stabilization within the video app on this phone. But yeah, I'm just gonna show you guys some of my examples now, and I hope you like them. Okay guys, so overall the Pixel 4a 5G in 2021 is definitely going to be one of the most reliable devices that you can get your hands on, especially for the prices that they will go at now. You could definitely get one used for around $300 to $400, which is a steal in my opinion, especially because it has like so much of what the Pixel 5 has, and those started off at like $700. So getting something like just as good for half could be very beneficial. Overall, my adjective that I keep coming back to with this phone is reliability. This is just a super reliable phone. I haven't really had like any like super hiccups that like made this phone unusable. And then like the camera is just like the best point and shoot camera I've ever had. Like you literally just take a shot and go. I just really like that ability to do that, and I definitely plan on upgrading to the Pixel 6 Pro in October when that comes out, so be looking out for my content on that. I'm definitely team Pixel all the way now just because of this experience. This was my first Pixel. I had the original Pixel 4a for a little bit, and then I decided to upgrade to the 5G. So yeah, if you have any questions about this product, feel free to leave them in the comments, and thanks for watching my video. Peace.